Okay, I think you might be. I don't know why you feel the need to lean over. Are you on? You're on. Okay. What's it gonna be? Oh! Don't let it touch. Hold on.
What is that?
That looks like a huge tilapia. Oh my goodness.
Oh my.
Can you hold it up? You might snap it. Hold up. Whoa. And be careful, the alligator's coming. Look at that there. Oh my goodness, did he actually?
Yes, he did.
Oh my
goodness,
did
gators.
He actually? Watch out, there's a hook flying. Don't worry.
Damn
Holy
poaching
cow.
gator bastards.
What the? That's a tilapia.
Why is this thing funny?
Holy cows.
Is that a big one?
That's a big one. That's as big as I've ever seen. Look at that fatty. Look at this fat.
And look at the hook.
Careful.
Interesting thing.
The amazing thing about fishing in
I'll tell you in a
Florida, behind us, beautiful weather, sunny clouds. Oh, it's so joyous. And right behind me, oh my goodness, we're going to get struck by lightning anytime soon. Lightning right there. This is coming to us.
You can't see the contrast in the clouds. Okay.
Yes.
I'm going to fast forward just to one thing here that skip the wife getting a little irritated. Everyone can go watch this. It's on Viva Random on Rumble, Viva Family on YouTube, Twitter. Okay. I need the aggregate knowledge of the internet right now to tell me what's going on here, because I've never caught and cleansed a tilapia before. I've done a lot of fish. I've caught and cleaned and eaten a lot of fish. I've never seen intestines in a fish like I've seen in this tilapia, and a bile sac. I've never seen anything like it. You look, trigger warning for anyone who's sensitive out there. You're going to see some fish guts. Okay, if I can press play here.
It's a blue tilapia, an invasive species of Florida.
So big.
We're going to go and just see what's in it. Get over here, Mom. Get over here.
Why is his butt so big?
Okay, that's the annoying dog. Okay, so look at this. I did not need to do this, but you cut it open. I was just going to gut it out, like just empty the guts.
Get a paper towel.
I've never seen.
I should have done that.
I've never seen intestines like this in a fish before.
That releases like. Oh my god.
It was like soup in its stomach.
Ew.
Oh my goodness.
So I'll pause it there.
That's so cool. The intestines?
That's the intestines. Okay, I'm not putting the intestines down.
Ew, I didn't know fish had intestines.
Me
like
neither.
that.
Okay, so here, I'll pause it there. Everybody can tell me what they think, because I would not mind having the aggregate knowledge of the interwebs weigh in on this one. You all know that I'm, I won't say morbidly neurotic. I'm compulsively neurotic. I get these, I understand that they're totally irrational thoughts in my head, but I get fixated. After we caught, cooked, and ate that fish, I'm like, what if that was all a big parasite in the stomach of that tilapia, and we're all now going to get the brain-eating virus or something? And I've like trying to teach kids how to, be self-sufficient and catch, kill, cook their own meat. And I'm like, I'm going to kill everybody by eating a disgusting fish. So I am told, in fact, I know this, that tilapia, they're not garbage eaters, but they're omnivores. They'll eat whatever they find on the ground. They eat other fish's eggs. They eat, obviously, live minnows, because that's what we were using. Here we got G.I. Jeremy says they're bottom feeders. I never eat them for tilapia. They are extremely robust fish. They're easy to farm. That's why people farm tilapias. They are, as far as I know, the last remaining fish in the Salton Sea, because they can live in relatively high saline waters. And but it was delicious. It was a delicious fish. The meat was nice, clean, white. No parasites, definitively. I went through the flesh to make sure there were no parasites. But afterwards, I was like, oh my God, I just ate a mutant fish. Annie of the Sea says, imagination. Did I think I ate a zombie fish? And now I'm thinking the tilapia, they have a lot of bile in their stomach, that yellowish fluid, because they eat a lot of crap and they need an active bile to digest what they eat. Also, being bottom feeders, going on sucking crap up, their stomach is just filled with food and garbage and detritus, not detritus, but poo-poo from digesting all of that. All of that said, I wanted to start with something that wouldn't be cackling Kamala. So I wanted to start with that. And look, it's going to be an interesting show today, because I've got two guests in the backdrop, one of whom you've never met. Well, no, one of whom you met once before, but he's very active at least once. I'm an idiot. Maybe once. No, definitely once. Is someone I rely on for a lot of information that I get out of Canada, because I'm no longer there. Chet Chisholm, who was an EMS. He'll give him the 30,000 foot overview when he comes in. Chet Chisholm's going to come on at around 1:15. We're going to talk about some Canadian stuff because I noticed a bit of a ribbing last night. Viva doesn't pay attention to Canadian stuffs anymore now that he's in this. First of all, it's not true. Even when I was in Canada, I was still more focused on US stuff because I found it more interesting. And I cover what I'm interested in, what is an important stuff coming out of Canada. There's been some good stuff coming out of Canada. Chet Chisholm is going to come on and talk about it at 1:15. Before then, because I'm not going to freaking DNC, but we're talking about the DNC today. Before then, Kyle Kemper is coming on in a few minutes, maybe in like, I think 10 minutes, to talk about what's going on in Chicago. For those of you who don't know, Kyle Kemper has been on the channel. Do I say this? I feel like I'm almost like insulting him when I say this. Kyle Kemper is Justin Trudeau's half-brother. And if you could imagine a devil on a shoulder and an angel on the shoulder, Justin Trudeau would be the devil and Kyle Kemper would be the angel. Kyle Kemper, look, in as much as you can know anybody who you've only met online, had a long 2-hour podcast discussion with, in as much as I can know someone who I've never met, Kyle Kemper is the dude you'd want to hang out with in university. The most authentic, sincere, optimistic guy you can imagine. He's working on RFK Jr.'s campaign, and this is not an endorsement of RFK Jr., period, so don't everyone jump up my butt. I like Kyle, and Kyle is up there now in Chicago with the Kennedy van. Not something I would do, but he's up there, and apparently he says, at least as of today, it's mildly boring, but we're going to have him on to talk about it. But before we do any of that, before we even get into anything of the show, I should have done this a little while ago. Make sure that we are live across all of the planes of the interwebs. We're live on vivabarneslaw.locals.com. We're live on CommuTube. And hold on, I can refresh. Because I have now subscribed to Rumble Premium, I no longer have to wait for ads before I make sure that we are live on Rumble. So we're live across all of the interwebs of the interplace of the technology. We're live everywhere. For those of you who don't know me, if you're new to the channel, I don't think anybody is new. Viva Fry, David Freiheit, former Montreal litigator, current Florida Rumbler, and live every day, 12:30. I'm doing it. This is now week 2 of the schedule, and gosh darn it, I'm sticking to it. We start and then we end on YouTube and go over to Rumble and have our after party at vivabarneslaw.locals.com. Today, we are talking about Kamala Harris. Dumb, drunk, or both. It's phoniness of the highest order. And there's so much of it going around. Like, this is like, I'm not a religious person. You all know that. But I do, if I don't fear an actual God, I just fear like cameras everywhere all the time. And, you know, you lose your temper, there's a camera, someone's going to humiliate you. You lie, someone's going to have it in a recording, they're going to humiliate you. And so whether or not it's a fear of God, a fear of a digital technocracy, I have a morbid fear of lying, and so I don't do it because I assume there's no point in lying because people are going to call you out and then you will forever be known as a liar, and there is nothing worse, no greater curse on earth than to be thought of as a liar. Or I should even be more specific. There's no greater curse to be a liar. Whether or not people know that you're a liar, it's a curse. For people to know and think you're a liar, that's also a curse. They can't even keep their phoniness together. Funny stuff, we'll get to it in a bit. There's a viral videos of Kamala Harris. And she's an idiot. And they are phony. They may as well be AI for all intents and purposes. DNC dropped its platform, and they seem to have forgotten to do a little control. Is it Alt Control F? Whatever it is. Alt Control F on a computer. It's FN Command F. There are 4 references to Biden's second term in the DNC platform. Now, the person who initially tweeted this that I saw was Greg Price. And I trust Greg. Greg has been very accurate. And I was like, there's no way. And I go pull it up, Control F, screen grab, download it. It's in our vivabarneslaw.locals.com community. Because when they try to memory hole it and then say it's Russian disinformation, because my grandmother was Russian, actually Ukrainian descent, but whatever. When they try to say it's right-wing, Canadian, Russian, Canadian-Russo disinformation, I've got the PDF as it existed before they go and make their stealth edits. All right. But before we get into anything, people, you will have noticed if you're watching this on CommuTube, they make you specify when a stream contains a paid promotion, and this one does. We'll start with the fine folks at the Wellness Company who are doing not just the Lord's work. I mean, they're doing the work to make sure that we are prepared for the next thing. whatever it may be. America, pay attention. We're living in perilous times. Assassination attempts, coups seeking to take over our government, cybersecurity threats, and we're just heating up. Now, Forbes, as you're seeing right here, put out an article that our government, confirming that our government is giving, $176 million to Moderna to whip up an mRNA bird flu vaccine, because the first and only product that Moderna ever whipped up, the mRNA COVID jab, worked ever so well. They're gearing up for the next big pandemic or plandemic, and we should understand that we can't trust them with our health any longer. We must take matters into our own hands now. I'm protecting my family with the Contagion Emergency Kit. It wasn't available in Canada, people. It's only available in the United States. So I don't know how you can get it in Canada. It's the Contagion Emergency Kit from the Wellness Company, and you should get one too. No joke. It's the frontline defense from whatever they throw at us next. It comes packed with ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, Z-Pak, Tamiflu, budesonide, along with a nebulizer, so you can rest easy knowing that you have the emergency meds on hand, along with a guidebook for safe use. Every family in America should have at least one of these kits. It's like having an urgent care comfort kit in your own home. Get your Contagion Emergency Kit today for the cost of a single doctor's visit. At the end of the day, just have these life-saving medications on hand. If there's interruptions to the supply chains, non-essential businesses shut down, whatever, be proactive, be prepared, take control, and don't rely on them. Go to them being the government. Rely on twc.health/Viva. Grab your Contagion Emergency Kit right now. twc.health, that is the wellness company, twc.health/Viva. Get $30 off at checkout. Kits are only available in the US. And if you all need to be refreshed on what the website of TWC looks like, if you go to twc.health/Viva, you'll see my beautiful, beautiful avatar right there. All right, people, before we even get into Kamala, we're going to start with a little bit of fun stuff from Don Lemon. I think we successfully yesterday, after the tech issue and I rebooted my computer, we brought up one of his videos where he was trying to tell people, I know you think things are worse now, but they're actually wrong, and you're stupid, dummy, who you thought you were making more money 4 years ago. It was one of the ones where it's the arrogant pomposity where, the snobbery are telling you that your lived experience is wrong and that you should trust the grass, because the internet is not the internet. The economy is better now than it was, dummy, 4 years ago. And if you thought you were making more money then, you're wrong. I'm not showing that clip now because I think we finally found the city where people are terminally afflicted with TDS. It's going to be crazy because I'm going to actually say something nice about Don Lemon. I like these. I've always liked the man on the streets. It's sort of like, what I did in Ottawa to some extent. I don't feel comfortable doing them when it's like one-on-one, when you're just grabbing people off the street, because I don't think some people appreciate being approached in public, and I don't want to piss anybody off or do a video. Oh, then they say take it down, or they find you after. It's like, you humiliated me and now I'm angry with you. I'm reluctant to do these things. Don Lemon, more power to you. Keep doing it, because I don't think these are proving what you think they're proving. But I wanted to play this one and put a little commentary in, because there's a clip at the end where you realize low information voters. He finally found a place that has more Kamala supporters than Trump supporters.
When Pittsburgh at a Pirates game, the vice president is coming with her bus tomorrow. Donald Trump's going to Scranton with his campaign. Everybody wants the vote in Pennsylvania. Pittsburgh is where the tour starts for the DNC. How are you feeling about the election?
I'm not feeling good, I'll tell you that much.
What?
It's crazy times. A lot of divisiveness, too much divisiveness.
Yeah.
Kamala Harris is gonna win.
You think so?
Yeah.
Why do you say that?
Because I'm 8 years old and I have no lived experience to know why she would be the worst thing for America since breadlines.
Because she will be the first female president in the United States of.
Why is she going to win? Because she would be the first female president. That is the conclusion, not the premise, young lady. Dad, teach this kid some critical thinking, please. That is an illogical statement.
America. It would be nice to have a girl to finally win.
Boys are, they've had enough, right?
Yeah.
What would you say to Trump if you saw him?
You're gonna lose.
You've made your choice?
Yes.
You want to tell us?
No.
Have you made your choice?
Yes, I don't want to say it.
You want to say?
I'm from California, you probably guess who I am.
Yeah.
I'm scared for Trump to win. We need a woman in power.
It's really
Need a
making
woman
you
in
anxious?
power.
Yes, stressed, very stressed.
It's got to be okay.
No matter who
I
wins?
like this. I like
No
this
matter who
philosophy.
wins, it's got to be, because
Yeah.
this is the best country on the planet.
It is the best country on the planet. Things don't stay that way when you have leadership that will turn it into Venezuela in 4 years. Canada, I'll say Canada still is the best country on earth as well, tied with America. It was a whole hell of a lot better before a dictator Trudeau came into power and turned Canada into a mini China. It basically, in every respect, things don't. This is the. Let me make sure that my guest is not popping in by accident in the back here. This is the rice paddy to rice paddy in 3 generations philosophy. It's the best country on the planet. Says and I say this with no judgment to this person. It's the best country on the planet to the person who inherited it, who was born into it, who didn't storm the beaches of Normandy. And I say this myself included. To the person who was born into it, into the security, prosperity of America, it's the best country on the planet. It's always been this way. It will always be this way. We don't need to worry about it. Just have faith. That is the second generation before the one who brings it back to the rice paddies. The first generation who stormed the beaches of Normandy and made sure that they fought for our freedoms, who sacrificed limb, blood, lives to fight for that freedom, they knew better. They create good times. Those good times create easy men like myself and others. And those easy men and women, they just think it's always been this way. It's always going to be this way because they didn't have to fight to make it this way. And they don't understand that it just takes one generation to fall away.
The prospect of living under the Trump administration for the next 4 years is very frightening to
Why?
me. There's a lot
Why?
at stake.
Hey, Don, you're a journalist. Why? Just why? An open-ended why?
I'm very excited to see Kamala Harris on the ticket.
Why?
For real.
Yes.
Why?
By the way,
Because it's
appreciate that. He thought she was being sarcastic.
on the ticket.
Look at him.
For real.
For
Yes.
real.
Why?
Because it's about time we not just have a woman represent the country, but a woman of color. She's
woman of
going to be
color.
able to represent, I think, a broader group of people than anybody else that we've ever seen.
She will. She'll be able to represent Canadians too, because that's where she spent the better part of her upbringing, from 12 to 17 or 12 to 18.
And she's qualified, you believe?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
If she wasn't, why would she have done so well as the Attorney General of California?
Can you imagine? I mean, I don't want to put this woman on. I have no idea who this woman is. Can you imagine anything more ignorant of a statement? Of course she's got to be qualified.
Than anybody else that we've ever seen.
Of course she's got to be.
And she's qualified, you believe?
Absolutely. If she wasn't, why would she have done so well as the Attorney General of California?
Can you imagine any statement more ignorant than to say Kamala Harris did so well as the Attorney General of California? Locking up petty marijuana offenders, hiding exculpatory evidence from people who were on death row, turning, I don't know if we can blame her for San Francisco. I think we can. Oh my, can you imagine any more ignorant of a statement? How the hell does someone like that get the impression that Kamala Harris was successful at her job in what is basically a state that has no-go cities? I mean, you got to be living in an alternate universe. And I mean, that is a testament to the problem, is that people don't even know that they have been propagandized. People don't even know that they are believing and repeating abject lies that they take for truth, and that they live with this impression, this curated Kamala, whiter than Taylor Swift, blue eyes, Russian commie propaganda, and they think they know. They think that she was good for California as Attorney General. Of course she was qualified, because she slept her way to that position, apparently, allegedly. Of course she was qualified. She did such a great job destroying that state, destroying cities, locking innocent people up, laughing about the fact that she smoked marijuana that she locked people up for years for. That woman thinks that Kamala Harris did a good job and that she's going to represent a broader base of people. I have no doubt that she will. They just might happen to be Canadian and communists. All right, before we get going here, this is I know Leon the Lion. I'm bringing this up here. This is from our first Rumble rant of the day. Leon the Lion is a member of our vivabarneslaw.locals.com community. Actually, he was one. I have to bring them back. I'm a bad man. I'm going to bring them back. Supporter conversations. I said I would bring him back after the summer, but right now I've just been struggling to keep a schedule at 12:30. We're going to bring back these supporters interviews where we would just do a stream with a supporter from our locals community and talk, hear their life story. Leon the Lion was on. Now, my eyes are very bad. I can't see too good, Bill. Leon the Lion with a $50 Rumble rant says it's a website, mistspire.locals.com, and there's a post. I'm going to bring this up in a second. This is cool. So this is the last story that I posted to my locals channel. I will have a new one out soon. I think you will all enjoy it because I know who Leon is and I know he's been working hard at this. Let me bring this up right now and just show. I'm not going to play the whole thing, Leon. Okay, here, bada bing, bada boom, shared post. I believe this is it. Yep, Miss Spire. And check it out. I'm not playing the whole.
The Widow of Hill's Crest, written by Leon the Lion and Jafocles, narrated by Adam Cunliffe.
Well, I guess I'm going to play the whole thing because it's the preview.
The raging storm showed no sign of letting up as Marcus Stone arrived into town.
Very much Indiana Jones-esque.
Hill's Crest was not unfamiliar to him.
There we go. Okay, Leon, thank you. Let me close this up so that I can send everyone the link up in. Here we go. Link. Leon, thank you. Everyone, check that out. And look who we got in the house just in time, Kyle. Dude, so the first, Kyle, what the hell happened to your hair? Your hair grows faster than mine?
I haven't cut it in like 6 years, Viva.
Okay. Everybody, the first time Kyle was on, okay, so this is the funny thing. Kyle pops up in the back screen before we're going live, and I thought I doubled my screen. I'm like, what the hell? How am I in there twice? Your beard your beard is beautiful. I shaved mine like an idiot. Dude, Kyle, okay, so it's fantastic.
Okay, we all make mistakes.
Dude, I keep saying I'll never do it again after, but then, you exfoliate, you got to, take care of some blackheads and, pop, whatever, okay, gross habits. Kyle, 30,000 foot overview.
What's your grossest habit, Viva? You pick your nose?
I don't pick my gross is, who doesn't like popping pimples? It's a gross. Oh, dude. Okay, well, yeah. we'll talk offline, Kyle. Okay, 30,000 foot overview. I hate defining you as Trudeau's half brother because I think but I have to. But tell everybody who you are.
Hey, everybody. My name is Kyle Kemper, at Kyle Kemper on X, formerly known as Twitter. I was born in the land of Canada. I now currently am in Chicago, outside of the DNC, the Democratic National Convention. And I'm right at the entrance, and we've got the bus. The music is off right now, but it has been blasting super high vibe tunes. And, the response has been amazing. Just amazing.
I'm gonna pull up your meme of the demonic national convention when I find it. But dude, so
that one's a little savage.
So
you're party possessed. Absolutely.
I'm going to get into it when you're not here, but talking about possessed and free abortions and vasectomies, I can't think of anything
on site. Let's go.
So you drove up. It doesn't matter where you drove up from, but you drove across the country to get there. You're in
1,200 miles.
Son of a beasting. What's it like now? Because we're hearing that they're setting up a massive perimeter beyond which, or within which, nobody can get.
Honestly, it's so much. There's so much BS around like what's going on here. They're like, oh, be scared. You're gonna get RPG'd. Your stuff's gonna get blown up. No way. It's
dude, don't jinx it. You're only on day one.
The Democrats are generally like, yes, there might be some provocateurism and there might be something, but Chicago is a very big city and there's a lot of people here and there are a lot of police officers here. Last night we were out until like 2 o'clock in the morning, just driving around. And the people we saw most were police officers. And oh my gosh, they were so stoked on what we were doing. Like fist bumps, high fives, massive connection. Plus, we're driving around in this enormous bus with a speaker on top playing really high vibe tunes. And I counted an entire drive from Sarasota, Florida to Chicago, Illinois. 0 negative interactions. Not even a middle finger, which I've never even seen before because we encountered so many people. So it's, I don't know, it feels like something's in the air. The polls are completely wrong, and the Uniparty is going to fight for its life these last 77 days.
I'll ask the stupid question. RFK not going to be there himself?
Well, he was planning to be here. He had a whole series of immersion events with the community to make sure the people of Chicago know that Bobby's running, because it's amazing how many people don't even know that he's running. But the good old Democrats are launching lawfare against him. And so he has to be in court to defend his right to be on the ballots, even though he's collected over 1 million signatures. And they know they're going to lose, but it doesn't matter because what they're doing is tying him up in court, tying up resources, tying up, like, there's only 77 days. So there's an inability to be able to actually be out campaigning. So it's a real shame.
For anybody,
that's basically what's going on.
Yeah, for anybody who questions your credentials or sincerity, a Democratic or demonic national convention. So if I may ask, I don't think I know this. Do you have an official title within the Kennedy campaign?
I used to be the lead activator of the campaign. Now I am independent, just like Bobby. We've got a GoFundMe that's helping drive this. I know we don't like GoFundMe, but guess what? A supporter actually set it up for me, and it's really easy to use. And so we're just going to roll with it for a little bit here. And if they do fuck around, they got to find out.
Well, so and you're in the thick of it. Bobby, I call him Bobby like we're best friends. RFK Jr. was just
Bobby. Call him Bobby.
Nah, I can't. I
sure you can.
No, I don't even call Robert Barnes Bobby. I call Mr. Robert and Mr. RFK Jr. He was booted from the ballot in New York because that's not where he's residing. He's got to take that to appeal.
Correct.
Where else?
And like the core of that one too is New York is terrified of having Bobby on the ballot because New York is an absolute Democratic stronghold. And if Bobby can get 10% of the vote there, it's going to send a massive signal, and it's going to trigger an independent revolution, in my opinion. I think you can get a lot more than that on the whole, from the mail-in through to election night, and then afterwards, showing that there's cracks within this Democratic party. I know I've been out here asking people like, hey, do you want some information about Kamala Harris? Party before people, folks. And people seem to like that.
Well, no, it's interesting actually that they want him off in New York specifically, where he can do no harm in theory to Trump, because in theory Trump can never get New York State, but having RFK Jr. on the ballot can only dilute or spread the Democrat vote.
Yeah, and it'll also force the Democrats to campaign in New York, because otherwise they don't even need to campaign. The same with California. So if Trump really wanted to mess with the Democrats, he should pull himself selectively off of the ballots in California and New York and make it a two-way race. Let's play a little bit of chess here. Send a little olive branch over Bobby's way and towards the independence movement.
So I know people are already shouting at you through the computer, but the idea would be have a fight between RFK and Kamala, assuming it's her.
Look what we got right here. Let's go, Patrick. See that, guys?
Okay, well, you know that guy.
This money, whichever. I just gave someone just gave it. And they said they're very sympathetic. They said your guy's getting cheated. They know.
They know we're getting cheated.
Yeah.
They know. And there was an interesting. And Viva, you know all about these, right?
The music.
The sound box. Remember those from Ottawa? Those were the portable speakers that people were carrying around that are super friggin' loud.
Yeah.
These are if you're thinking about buying a gun today or tomorrow, please consider instead buying yourself a sound box. It is one of the most powerful tools in the world, and it can shift the vibration in an instant. So in addition to guns, get yourself a sound box.
What's the one I have? I have the one that's shaped like a bean.
It has, that's like the JBL or the pill.
JBL, that's what it's got 3 letters. So hold on. The idea would be, it's never going to happen, but he pulls out of California so that RFK can potentially take those electoral colleges if he wins the state.
Yeah.
And that would mess things up. Interesting.
Yeah, well, it would also force Kamala to campaign in those states. And Kamala campaigning in California is going to be a tough challenge, because she was the DA of California and selected to keep a lot of prisoners in jail because they were working in the correctional institutions, aka work camps. And yeah, she's got a real bad record there.
Well, just
really bad record there.
It'll never happen. I think it's a terrible strategy. Only if only from a disenfranchising all of the Republican voters who want to vote for their candidate in California. And I don't think it's obviously.
I think a lot of those people are like, you know, their second option is kind of Bobby. It feels like the second choice is Bobby. I mean, around the Republican National Convention, when there was a little bit of question whether Trump would have him as VP, Trump offered him the VP.
Oh, but
Bobby said no.
People were suggesting New Jersey, New York might be in play. Is that? Do you not think that there's any legitimacy to that?
For who?
For Trump.
I don't think so. No. I think you know, I think we're dealing with like a 2016 cycle here, but with Bobby being in the place of Trump, the polls are going to completely keep him out of here, and we're going to see a landslide come election day because these two candidates, they're divisive. It's the uniparty. Remember that. Neither one of them, like, you know, like Trump and the Republicans, they are fully on board with the lawfare being performed against Bobby because they like their two-party system, guys. They like it. They want to keep us divided. They want to keep us against each other.
This is Polymarket. I do not have any account here, but man, I would put at 2%. I'd probably put $100 down. See where that goes. So Kyle, what are you doing out there now in Chicago? Are you out there for the entire DNC?
I'm out here for the entire DNC. Last night I was in an event with. Last night I was in an event with American Values, and then today they were having a little rally. I showed up a little bit late and I missed them, but I collected some supporters. We just drive around on the bus. Honestly, driving around on the bus is the best. I'm going to try and get maybe about 20 people on the bus. I've got a 40-foot Who's Bobby Kennedy banner. I got a sound box on the top. We can do little pop-up activations all over the city. This isn't so much about being at, you know, the DNC. Oh, check this. This one's really fun too. So here's a Kamala tent. They were on the public sidewalk before. These are independent entrepreneurs. So Let's go, guys. They were on the sidewalk before, and it's a public sidewalk. And the Democrats decided to put them in the cage. So now they're behind there, which is you know, kind of appropriate because Democrats love putting people in cages, or the party does at least. They try to put Trump in a cage. They're trying to put Bobby in the courtroom cage.
Well, look.
Kamala Harris literally kept people in cages so that they could work for her.
Let's not downplay it. I'll say they want to put people in coffins, and they wouldn't have minded if something happened to Bobby or RFK Jr. And at least that way they put them in coffins, and then they can vote Democrat for an eternity.
I mean, in the model of democracy for the Democratic Party is having no opponents, so that we can preserve our democracy by just having one selected person on there. Kamala Harris lost the primary against Joe Biden in the last go around, and then she wasn't even part of the show. This is a pure selection. This is the farthest thing from democracy. The DNC is a projection party. Everything they say is the opposite. It is pathetic.
It's everything they say is true of themselves. I mean, it's the iron law of woke projection. Did you get credentials? Are you going to be able to get beyond the? No.
I'm not even trying to get credentials. I'm not interested. Personally, I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in this guy. Check it out. What do you got there, brother? Sister. Yes, let's go. What do you got there? Go pass out those buttons, and you know what, and give them to people, and just say, here's a gift, and if they want to like offer you something, they'll give it. So I got two people. You got two people off the streets. No, thank you. Be careful. Be careful with those. Those will rot your teeth.
All right, man. So you're gonna be there all week. You'll pop in and out
all week. And I'm happy to jump on anytime, people. You just send me the link because we got this figured out. We downloaded the app. We're in now.
Will do.
And so I'm on my way to go pick up 10,000 newspapers. I was up till 4 o'clock in the morning. Holden, let's go. Holden, come on, everybody. Oh, baby, let's go. One of the super influencers within the Kennedy field of vision. A beautiful man. Viva, do you know Holden?
I do. Holden, have we ever met?
How are you guys doing?
Can't hear you, but
Bobby Kennedy.
What did you get 10,000 newspapers for, Kyle?
I got more.
Thank
I got
you.
lots more for you.
And look, we've got more cats here. We've got 10,000 newspapers that I've just finished printing. It says on the front, Kennedy is weird. Conspiracy theorist thinks his father was killed by the CIA. And that's like the big headline, which is awesome. And then it talks, what was the next one? Courted by Kamala is the next headline on the front of the page. And then it's a 20-page newspaper that is mimetic, it is raw, it is awake, it is funny, and it is something that, like, you know, we can get out. And newspapers are very, very powerful, folks. Very, very powerful. That's how you actually get information across to people. And especially when there's a void, people want information about Kennedy. People are coming up to me constantly asking for information because they do not know. Because the uniparty news networks are forbidding any honest, open discussion about Bobby. Remember that. This is the uniparty. They try and they feed on the two-party. They want either Trump to win or Kamala to win. They are terrified of the notion of an independent who wants to have everybody at the table discussing things. You are all free people. You have ears that hear, eyes that see, and brains that think. Choose for yourself. Do not listen to anybody. I'm not telling you to vote for Kennedy. I'm simply telling you to listen to his words, judge the characters, judge who you think is best. And if you want to get involved in this movement, you are invited. Viva, I wanted you on the bus. We're going to have the best time ever. You're coming on the bus at some point.
I'm going to tell you this. I don't think Bobby has a chance of winning. I think everybody, you're not in the right crowd.
No, like a zero?
I virtually nil. And I think
Bobby, it's like 99 point what?
No, it's like 100%. It's no chance.
100%.
I wouldn't put $100 on one. I mean, maybe I would, but I'll say RFK Jr.'s utility. I think
give me 1,000 to 1 on $1.
No, that would be ridiculous. But
all right, no, I'll say his 100 to 1 on $10.
No, that's still too much.
Come on,
I'll say
so you're not. So then it's not 100%.
Well, I wouldn't know because it would. No, I would bet $1.
100%.
I would bet $1 to win 100. But I'll say RFK Jr.'s utility. I think Trump needs to absorb some of the messaging, absorb some of the policy, and there's a union there. But I'm not a Trump loyalist. I just say Trump has to win because otherwise there's no democracy left. But
hey, we've got a great song too. We've got a great song. It's called Trump Fauci. Give us another shot. It's an homage to Project Warp Speed and to locking down America and to being very good at saying words and then not actually having any plans to back it up. So that's the message, guys. You're invited to participate in this. And Viva, just like in Ottawa, it did not take 77 days to organize Ottawa. There's an opportunity for an American revolution here to get bypass the uniparty. Trump may be awesome. I think he's pretty awesome. But guess what? He works for the uniparty. He holds debt with BlackRock, State Street, and Vanguard. He will say whatever he needs to, but he is not ultimately in control. And you know it, Viva.
I don't know. He's so not in control. They literally tried to take him out. But Kyle, you're preaching to the wrong crowd when it comes to this. That being said,
I'm not preaching. I'm saying you're invited.
No, I would say the message will not. It's not even. I like RFK. I disagree
on
some
some the
policy.
bus. Let's go see. Let's go actually out into America as opposed to sitting in your algo world, Viva.
Oh, dude,
I'll remember what we did in Ottawa.
I will drive.
Remember the civic engagement and the opportunity for real change. And when actual questions get asked, the reaction of the party system and how they handled it. So there is an opportunity. We need to redeclare our independence. We need new forms of governance. We need the voice of we the people to have a voice because we the party is fucking bullshit and you know it.
I will drive across the country, but like I did when I went to the RNC convention in Milwaukee, I'm driving around Chicago. not through it, although I drove through on the way back.
Oh, why?
I'm joking.
Viva,
Kyle?
No, seriously, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. No, that's coming from a place of fear.
Of course it is. A self-preservation.
Hold on. No. Be aware of danger, but do not make decisions out of fear. Driving through Chicago is the second largest city in America. It is a safe city. If you throw yourself into a very dangerous situation, be conscious and be aware. But don't just avoid a whole thing because of some assumption you have about how dangerous it is. I'm gonna hold you to that, brother. I love you so much. And you threw yourself out there so hard and did such a great job in Ottawa. You're a fucking legend, Viva. And you keep bringing truth to it. Please stay independent.
We will stay. Well, first of all, you'll come back on. We're going to see what happens this week. Don't do anything, Kyle.
No promises. No promises. I'm looking right now for a Tony Little Gazelle, which is the funniest workout machine on the planet. And I want to put it up on top of the bus and drive around. I'll have somebody else on it working out as we're playing with a 40-foot Who's Bobby Kennedy banner in front. It's about memetics. It's about engagement. It's about triggering people and shifting them out of the matrix. And right now we're in Chicago and it's a beautiful day. And I'm going to keep having fun here, Viva, and keep
Kyle,
spreading
go.
it. Thank you so much.
My
Appreciate
pleasure.
you. Everybody out there, if I said anything that offends you, ho'oponopono, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I'm very grateful to all of you, and I love all of you as well. Remember, we got to bring people together. There are good people on all sides. Some of them are just in under a little bit of spell, especially here with these Democrats. Have a great day, guys. Woo, Bobby!
All right, man.
All right.
Kyle, go for it.
Okay,
Be safe.
love
Don't do
you.
anything stupid.
Love you. Love
All right.
you. I'm going to have a
Bye-bye.
great time. Have fun. Have fun, Viva. Have a great day.
Okay.
Don't
all right.
take dangerous risks, sir.
I will text you after. Peace out. Go.
All right. Don't be in the sun too long either. You might get a sunburn.
I'm ahead of you. Bye-bye, Kyle. See you soon. Okay, that's funny stuff, by the way. Now, speaking of self-preservation and making sure that you are as fit and healthy, and in it for the long run, people, there is nothing more important than your health. If you don't have your health, you have nothing, which brings us to our second sponsor. And by the way, I'm going to show you. I'm not going to do it for you in real time, but I'm going to show it to you right now. Lumen, people. This is the device right here. I can show you how it works, but that might bore you. It takes like 25 seconds. You push the button, you breathe into it. It's a metabolic coach, by the way. Your metabolism is your body's engine. I think you all know this. It's how your body turns food that you eat into the calories and fuel to keep you going. Because your metabolism is at the center of everything your body does, optimal metabolic health translates into a bunch of benefits, including easier weight management, improved energy levels, better fitness results, better sleep, etc. Lumen gives you the recommendations to improve your metabolic health, tells you diet. It's actually very cool. It can also track your cycle of menopause. That's not applicable to me, but it's applicable to some. Although maybe at the DNC, it could, I could convince them it'll track my my menopause cycle. It can adjust your recommendations to keep your metabolism healthy throughout the day, throughout hormonal shifts, so you can keep your energy and stave off cravings. If you're interested in this and you want to take the next step to improving your health, go to lumen.me/Viva to get 15% off your Lumen, or just click on the link in the description. Thank you, Lumen, for sponsoring this video. I'll just, do I do it? I don't think anybody's really interested in seeing me do this. Let me stop screen. You take this thing, you push the button, it tells you to take a deep breath, and it's actually, well, it's obviously kind of satisfying because they have an app, and you can see you got to inhale with a certain rapidity to keep this green ball in the center of the circle so that you know it's optimal. Then you breathe out, and it measures your breath, and it tells you if you're burning calories, carbs versus fats, what you should be doing by eating, etc. It's very cool. Metabolic coach. If you're out there and you want to get in better shape, check it out. Lumen.me/Viva in the description. Now, a little behind schedule, but who cares, people? That was fun. Kyle's at the DNC. First of all, I'll address this, actually, because I read the chat as we're going through. Kyle is a good guy. Okay, first of all, I will not, we're not guilty of the sins of our fathers, and we sure as sugar are not guilty of the sins of our brothers, our literal brothers. You might be guilty of the brothers in arms if you align yourself with people who are your brothers and then they do bad things and you don't denounce them. Fine. Kyle's a good guy. I'm not going to hold him to the fact that he's Justin Trudeau's half-brother. He's a good guy. I'm not going to hold him to the fact that I think he's not delusional. He's a true believer in RFK Jr. And in as much as I think RFK Jr. has positive policy issues to contribute to a Trump platform, I have expressed myself repeatedly as to why, if Trump does not win and they get away with the lawfare, the attempted assassination, the media demonization, if they get away with that and it actually convinces people to vote for that empty vassal that is Kamala Harris, you no longer have democracy. What you basically have is it Wag the Dog? I'm not sure if Wag the Dog is the proper movie. But what you basically have is it's AI democracy. Call it that. What you're going to have is AI democracy, because for all intents and purposes, the Kamala campaign could be AI generated and no one would know the difference until she opens her freaking mouth, people. And I've been a little harsh on Kamala. she's an idiot. Like, it's not like, and people say, well, you can't get that far in life without being smart enough. I don't know. You have IQ, you have EQ, and then you have like HQ. I won't actually say the acronym because that's crass. You do have people who succeed in life by using other things than their brain or things other than their brain. Kamala Harris is fundamentally unintelligent from all anybody can say. Fundamentally unintelligent and fundamentally unlikable. As they're not even rumors, as are these stories of staff overturn. People can't stand working for her. She's an idiot. And when I say that this is an AI generated, it's basically it's a propaganda campaign in real time. If any of you thought that we were beyond the age of state-funded propaganda, manufactured consent back before Chomsky lost his mind, look at this. Who's this coming from? Well, Republicans against Trump. Can you imagine Trump doing this? Can you imagine Trump? This is why you're going to vote for her. First of all, don't touch a dog like that. You don't do that to a dog. Dog's trying to get away from her. Like, I'm not going to be like one of those, if you want to get bitten by an ill-behaved dog, this is exactly what you do. You lean over its head and you grab it by the side. I do this when I kiss dogs in the neighborhood because I know that they're good dogs and they're not going to bite me. And every now and again, I go and kiss a dog that's a stranger dog, and I shouldn't do it. Can you imagine Trump doing this? First of all, I mean, there's a dog boner joke in there because I don't know if anybody's noticing what's going on down south of the border there. That dog is mildly aroused. So I guess, yeah, maybe Trump wouldn't arouse a dog. I'm not sure that that's a compliment or an insult. This is it. Oh, don't you just love her? She pet a dog. She kissed a baby. Oh, don't you just wish Trump were so not racist? Kamala Harris held up a black baby. She's a people person and totally not racist. I mean, it's idiocy. But that wasn't even her opening her mouth. That was just her being an idiot. Where was the one there? I mean, it's been going around today because it's just too good to be true. Listen to this. There's actually it's an amazing thing because there's two of these videos here. Bada bing, bada boom. Check this one out. This one's coming courtesy of the Post-Millennial. Kamala Harris repeats that there's a duality of the nature of democracy that is strong and fragile. Listen to this. I don't know. This one is August 19th. This one is the more recent one. There's another one where you just hear her repeating the same verbal diarrhea because she doesn't understand anything. She can't reformulate and redescribe a thought because she doesn't understand it in the first place. There's an expression, if you can't explain something complicated simply, you don't understand it. She doesn't understand that. This is Dunning-Kruger. They should call her Kamala Dunning-Kruger. Kamala Kruger. I think maybe that's a win. Here, I'll shut my dig.
Because when we think about the strength of our democracy, I think that there's a duality to the nature of democracy. When
it's very Heideggerian. Heideggerian said everything is and is not at the same time. Oh, she's really channeling that Heideggerian, very complex Germanic philosophy. No, she's not. She's an idiot. And she looks drunk. I mean, I'm not saying that. There's no projection there. I think I can identify people when they're drunk.
It's intact. Oh, it's so strong.
Oh, it's so strong.
In terms of what it
is she doing this on purpose? I'm going to shut up. I'm just going to let this. Oh, it's so strong and so big and beautiful and luscious.
When it's intact. Oh, it's so strong. In terms of what it does to uphold and protect individual rights and freedoms. So strong in its nature. And it's very fragile.
Leave it to the commie dictator to tell you that democracy is oh so fragile. That's not an observation. That's a threat, people.
It will only be as strong as our willingness to fight for it.
Okay.
Because when we think
someone's got to do a meme, a mashup.
Duality to the nature of democracy.
Oh, it's so big and strong.
When it's
intact.
Oh, it's so strong.
I'm sorry, I could actually listen to that all day and laugh hysterically. Oh my goodness. So that's one clip. I mean, we're going to get the I'm going to bring up another one. Ganthit in our locals community says, thanks, Viva, for showing us what you would look like as a hipster stoner. That was one of the videos. And if you want to hear her regurgitating the same verbal diarrhea on a separate occasion, it's right over here. This is one's coming courtesy of Greg Price, who's definitely worth a follow on Twitter. Listen to this.
And that's what our election is about. Our election is about understanding the importance of this beautiful country of ours in terms of what we stand for around the globe as a democracy. As a democracy. We know.
Repeating. Repetition is my job. It's my job to be repetitive. I mean, it does actually work as a tactic for brainwashing, but okay.
There's a duality to the nature of democracy. On the one hand, incredible strength when it is intact. What it does for its people to protect and defend their rights, their liberty, their freedom. Incredibly strong and incredibly fragile. And that's what our election is about.
It's
Our
this one was the more recent one. So you take your pick, dumb or drunk or both. And there are rumors about her intoxication habits. I mean, it's so bad. This is the one I wanted to bring up last night during the show. Hold on, I'm going to wait for the clip to replay. Here, this is the one I wanted to bring up before I had my tech issue last night, which is a freaking computer issue. Just listen to this. When people tell you who they are, listen. And she looks good. Oh, she's so, it's the side eye. Like, look, notice that she and AOC do the side eye. It's a TikTok thing. While she's spewing diarrhea, that if you were that person that we saw at the beginning of the show who thinks that she must have been successful as an attorney general because, you know, she was the AG of California. I mean, how could she? She must have done a good job. Listen to what she says here. You all know the punchline because you've seen this. It's gone quasi-viral, and it's a great indirect ad campaign for the Trump campaign. Everything she says here happened under her administration, Biden's administration.
A loaf of bread cost 50% more today than it did before the pandemic. Ground beef is up almost 50%.
Where's that jackass on Twitter who I was fighting with that said inflation, your groceries don't cost twice as much as they used to? 50% is not 100%, Viva. So technically I'm right.
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message.
Fantastic.
A loaf of bread cost 50% more today than it did before the pandemic. Ground beef is up almost 50%.
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message.
Like it's like Biden. Well, first of all, we all know that Biden isn't in control right now, but it's almost like it's not her administration under which this Putin price hike. What do they call it? Putinflation. It's almost like it didn't happen under her regime. When she becomes president, when she's finally elected to office, she'll solve the problems that have gotten so bad over the last 4 years. Hold on, I know that I missed a Rumble rant from someone, and I wanted to read it. So I'm going to scroll up all the way here. Let me see if I can scroll up just before I get to the punchline on this. Leon the Lion. Okay, we got to that. They had a plugin for Rumble where you could there was a plugin for Rumble that it would keep all of the Rumble rants separately aligned so that you could come back to them whenever you wanted. And apparently something happened with it. Don Hello Procurement. What's this? Hold on a second. Look at that face. That's my face, by the way. Chronologic says Don Hello Procurement on Twitter was just taken into custody by the FBI for January 6th. That's outrageous. Scrolling down, we got King of Biltong. Good afternoon from Anton's USA. 10% off your Biltong using code VIVA on BiltongUSA.com, AntonUSA.com. Biltong is a tax-free product. Boycott the government. Buy Biltong. Biltong USA, Anton USA has become sort of like a de facto sponsor because the dude knows how to maximize Rumble rants for productive purposes. So the question was this, talking about inflation. Beef costs twice 50% more than it did 4 years ago. Yeah, it's almost like they haven't been in power for the last 4 years. But going back to Greg Price, who's been on fire today. Did I put this one up here? Yeah, I had to have brought this tweet up. I want to. Okay, hold on. Maybe I didn't hear. Hold on. Okay. Hold on. Trust but verify. Here we go. Greg Price put out a tweet and said, "Holy cows! If you go to the DNC platform, capital P platform, you'll see Joe Biden's second term referenced 4 times." Greg Price, the official DNC platform has been released, and it makes at least 5 mentions of Biden's second term. Tough look for the democracy copy editors. And I'm like, oh, it can't be. So I trust Greg, but I go verify, pull it up, and I downloaded this. It's on our vivabarneslaw.locals.com community for an eternity, because they'll go memory hole this. Like I said at the beginning, listen to this. This was I've got all the screen grabs. In President Biden's second term, he will continue selecting judges who will protect fundamental rights and who represent the diversity of the American experience. Diversity, i.e., we're going to pick a black woman. Now, who do we not have? We do not have yet a trans lesbian on the Supreme Court. I don't even know which way that would go. We will push for a Supreme Court that follows the rule of law, protect people's freedoms, and abides by the highest ethical standards. Okay, that's one of them. Further down, in President Biden's second term, he will push Congress to pass legislation that is consistent with our values as a nation. Legislation must secure the border. These MFers gaslight you like it's nobody's business. He came into office and issued executive orders undoing what Trump did at the border. Legislation must secure the border, reform the asylum system, expand legal immigration, keep families together, yada, yada, from undocumented. Oh, my goodness. All right. That was it. Let's see. That was number 2. Number 3, in Biden's second term, he will push Congress to provide the resources and authorities that we need to secure the border. This includes additional border agents, immigration judges, asylum officers, cutting-edge inspection machines. Oh, yeah. We will. After 4 years of a porous border leading to an invasion of America. Trust me, she'll do it on day one. It's actually so stunningly outrageous. I mean, this is a comedy that you would not believe if you were watching it in a movie. Kamala is running. The platform is referencing Biden's second term, and they are promising to solve the problems during Biden's second term that Biden caused in his first term. During Biden's second term, Democrats will continue to advocate for the safe and secure development of AI. Oh, we can trust that. We can trust them with that power. We will invest in AI Safety Institute. I mean, this is the same party that was interfering with social media companies to suppress the Hunter Biden laptop story, to suppress the Twitter files, to suppress true stories about vaccine injuries because they didn't want to create vaccine. It's actually unbelievable. So Greg Price is on it, and he's 1,000% accurate. I'll give everybody the tweet for this link. I mean, it's just stunning, and you wouldn't believe it if you didn't see it with your own eyes, and it's still too unbelievable. Oh, do we get a few more examples of some Kamala stupidity? Yeah, we're gonna do this. All right. AI trust them with AI, by the way. They'll get all the tools for AI so that the AI will actually find the glitches that these idiots don't detect themselves when producing their propaganda. There's a video clip of Kamala Harris going to a gas station because she's just like us. You know, she goes to a gas station and get me some corn nuts and some Doritos because I'm a regular American. Check this out. And you'll notice something. Not sure how many people have picked on this. When you live on the internet like I do, and you edit, I mean, when you video edit, you pay attention to these things. Oh, let me just stretch my back. I do my own editing, everybody. But I probably shouldn't because it's not an efficient use of time. I tried a great company that did it for me for a month, and they did better editing than I could, but I'm neurotic. I have demands that I know that are not fair to impose on anybody except for myself. And so I stick to my own editing. I'm good at it. It just takes too much time. When you edit, you pick out inconsistencies and you pick out cuts. Watch this piece of propaganda shiat and tell me when you notice it.
You see corn nuts over there, Tim? Isn't this it? Oh, yeah. That's the best.
There you go. That's funny. You see corn nuts over there?
I want some corn nuts. What does she say there?
You see corn nuts over there?
Do you see corn nuts over there? We've just taken over a gas station, kicked everybody out, acting like it's our own, but acting like we do this every. Do you see corn nuts? First of all, I've never had corn nuts. I don't know what the hell they are. I looked them up and I've never tasted them. Do you see corn nuts over there? Oh, I got your bag of Doritos.
That's it.
Oh, yeah. That's the best.
There you go. That's funny.
First of all, something drives me crazy. Once you notice it, you can't unhear it. Listen to Walls's laugh.
That's the best. There you go. That's funny.
By the way, They just found the bag of Dorito chips because she's just like one of us looking for her Doritos. Why do the other two already have a bag of Doritos in their hands? Why does her husband already have a bag of Doritos? And I don't know who that... Oh, I guess that's Walls' wife. They all already have Doritos in their hands. You know why? Because this is as natural as saccharin. And they didn't get it on their first take. Or they shot multiple ones of these. Oh, look at her. She's like, oh, is this what Doritos look like? Wait until you open it and you find out it's 50%. Look at her husband. He's so natural, so charismatic. What is Walls' wife looking for? It's gonna reach over the counter because they're out of sheets. Okay, they have it because they already did this, people. I mean, why else would her husband have a bag of Dorito chips and Walls is already just pretending to find them for Kamala? We're such a team. Here, you bring them over the top. And then if you look to who else, who pulled this up here? Nothing But Lies. Is that it? No. That's what's her face? Here, I think this is the one here. Look at this. Look where the husband got it. Look where her husband's going. Look at her husband. Oh, there's Doritos. I need Doritos.
Oh, Dougie, there they are. Yeah. Thank you.
I know you want those.
I know you want those. Can you believe it? That just, it's so disgusting. And then they do two takes. But Imhoff, she gave it back to her husband for the second take, and he's holding the bag of Doritos while pretending. They treat you like idiots. And the problem is that a great many people are idiots, not in the sense that they are bad people. They don't even know to look for these things. They don't live on they don't know to look. They don't want to hear it. And they look at people like me and say, well, I don't have all day long to look for these things. So I'm just going to disregard the information being provided by someone who does do this day in and day out all day long. Oh. Okay, let's take a break here for a second. Yesterday you asked about RFK conspiracy theories involving Israel. Check out this article. Tehran Times. Okay. I'll check that one out. I'm a very open-minded individual, even if it comes from the Tehran Times. Israel is behind serial assassinations of Kennedy brothers Lauren Guyenot. I will definitely read that afterwards. I'm not being sarcastic or belittling here. Then we've got another one coming up here. Who's this from? Il Sarto says, known intellectuals Candace Owens, Dave Smith, and Tate brothers all agree in regard to Israel, but Barnes can't so much as attempt to steelman their position. Barnes argued in bad faith last night. Sad. No, dude, I mean, if you say that, you haven't seen enough episodes where Barnes is thoroughly fleshed out in thorough detail. You can't do everything over from scratch every time you engage in a discussion. But, I mean, what's the argument here? Known intellectuals? I don't know that there's many people who call the Tate brothers known intellectuals. I'm not trying to be mean, but I don't think they're known intellectuals, nor do I place any enhanced stock in people who are known intellectuals. Chomsky's a known intellectual. It doesn't mean they're not falling off the deep end. Candace Owens is a known intellectual. She said Emmanuel Macron's wife is a man. Staked her reputation on it. Dave Smith is not, Dave Smith is maybe one of the ones who engages in the most reasonable discussion on it. What are you going to call Dan Bilzerian a known intellectual? All right, good. There's known intellectuals who are the exact opposite of those four. So I'm not arguing from authority, and I'm certainly not relying on someone's known intellectual status to prove anything. That's arguing from authority. Barnes has thoroughly fleshed out his position many times for, I would say, easily hours of live streaming where it's detailed. So because he didn't go through it all last night, we're not going to go through it every time we discuss it. But it's also one of those discussions where you are never going to convince the person if they're on the other camp. I mean, I have the debate. I can have the debate in my head how it goes every time. Oh, but speaking of hypocrisy, not the smoothest segue. Check this out. This is what's going on in Chicago right now. This is why I think Kyle's not necessarily in the right spot. Like I genuinely want Kyle not to go to these places because I think I'm a fearful person. Everybody knows that. Self-preservation or preservation of family and loved ones. I say it's actually I'm being unfair to myself. Preservation of loved ones is primordial. I don't know where the hell Kyle is, but this is what I'm also seeing coming from people who are on the left. Art Candy, I don't know who the person is. I just know they post a lot of stuff here, which I thought some is quite interesting because it's amazing. You probably know where I'm going with this already. Chicago cops showed up in full force last night for a small protest. I'll advise again to anyone who thinks causing chaos in my hometown during this DNC is a good idea. Don't. Oh. Can you imagine, like, basically this person is proudly saying, fuck around, find out, the cops will mess you up. This is the same, like, it's just, it's not hypocrisy. It's not hierarchy. What I think it is, I think it stems from a defect of the brain, actually, if I'm being totally honest. I have a neuroscientist friend, and we were having a discussion once upon a time, like, what is the difference between the brain of a conservative, a person on the right, versus the brain of a person on the left? And I think it's that they don't follow logical inconsistencies on the left. You got a lefty, this account, proudly saying FAFO when it comes to the cops. This is, hey, you want to come here, mess around, you'll see what happens here. We got fences, we got security, and our cops will beat the shit out of you if you mess around. Same party that says border walls are racist, defund the police, and cop on citizen crime is far too high. I mean, it's actually, I would even dare say it's racist. What free Palestine? So you are proudly sicking your police on Middle Eastern or people of color protest? And that's racist. How is that not racist? Oh, you want to come here and FAFO? We're going to sick our police on you. Right? And after they're done beating the crap out of you, but we'll complain about it afterwards, we'll send in a social worker so you can deal with the trauma. The same party that walls are racist and the cops are bad, defund them, is now proudly saying, don't come to Chicago, start in trouble, because you will get messed up. And, we talked about it yesterday. I'll end on this, then we'll get into some Canadian stuff. But, they're literally credentials. You won't get past the perimeter unless you have them, i.e. ID. Fences, you won't get past them because they work. And because this is, as Kyle suggested, a demonic national convention, they are literally offering abortions and vasectomies at the DNC. I mean, I talked about it yesterday. I thought it was a joke. Mobile health clinic will roll into Chicago. What better way to say that we are a party of racists than to come and say, hey, you want to get rid of that baby? We'll help you. You want to snip your dick? We'll do that too. Make sure that none of you can procreate. If we don't get you on the gender affirming care, if we don't sterilize you that way, well, let's just sterilize you at a DNC. It's Planned Parenthood is offering more than t-shirts at the DNC this coming week. The organization will offer free vasectomies, medication abortion, and emergency contraception. Yeah, I guess maybe that's what he meant by fuck around, find out. Planned Parenthood, Great Rivers, yada, yada, announced on X that a bus is headed to DNC to offer free services. Here, I can't imagine anything more disgusting. And this is irregardless or independent of my personal view on abortion, which I probably piss off people on both sides, but there has to be some opportunity, but there have to be some limits. This is disgusting. This is celebrating human sacrifice. This is celebrating debauchery. This is celebrating poor life decisions and the immature way of getting out of poor life decisions. It's unbelievable. Here we come, Chicago. Beep, beep. The abortion bus is coming. Okay, that's it. I got to pee a little bit, but I'll hold it in. Let me see if I didn't miss anything fun stuff. We're going to get to some Canadian stuff with our my man up in Canada who's going to help us out here. Let me see. Riley. Yeah, that's for the Canadian discussion. A little bit of hypocrisy from Kamala Harris. And that's it. What did I have Colin Rugg up here for? Oh, this. The other verbal dialogue. We're going to end with this, and then we're going to end on YouTube and come over to Rumble exclusively. Speaking of dumb, drunk, or both, let's just listen to this verbal diarrhea.
You unveiled your economic policies last week. Yeah. Can you explain how you're going to pay for those? And can you give us a sense of what other policies you want to unveil going forward?
Sure. Well, I mean, you just look at it in terms of what we are talking about, for example, around children and the child tax credit and extending the EITC. It's at $6,000 for the first year of a child's life. The return on that investment in terms of what that will do and what it will pay for will be tremendous. We've seen it when we did it the first year of our administration, we reduced child poverty by over 50%. So that's a lot of the work. And then what we're doing in terms of the tax credits, we know that there's a great return on investment. When we increase homeownership in America, what that means in terms of increasing the tax base, not to mention property tax base, what that does to fund schools.
Return on investment.
Again, return on investment.
Again.
It's a mistake for any person who talks about public policy to not critically evaluate how you measure the return on investment.
All right, that's
strengthening
awesome.
neighborhoods, strengthening communities, and in particular the economy of those communities, and investing in a broad-based economy, everybody benefits, and it pays for itself.
Do you know what verbal diarrhea platitudes are? Whatever you just saw there. Do you know what Dunning-Kruger is? Whatever you just saw there. Give me a term. I watched this guy named Daniel Thrasher, and he hilarious stuff. That's actually not political, and it's funny. He might not. I always say it whenever I talk about him. He might not want me talking about him, but he did a skit where an idiot learns a new word, ubiquitous, and then just immediately needs to use it in every sentence, even though he is using it flippantly, willy-nilly, and not necessarily out of context, just not understand. Return on investment. That's fantastic. What does that mean? Well, it means you get money, you get a return on your investment. Oh, awesome. Can you explain how any of that happens through the policy that you're proposing? Well, it's a return on investment. You make profit. You get your money back. All right. How? Can you explain how that's been demonstrated in the past? How it's going to be demonstrated going forward? Well, no. Return on investment. That's Dunning-Kruger. You get a term, you have a basic understanding of a very what's mildly complex term, and you use it as though you know what the hell is going on. It reminded me of the scene out of The Jerk, which is, as far as I'm concerned, a perfect movie. It's one of my favorite movies ever. Let's see if I hope this is right. Listen to this.
P.S. Is Grandma still farting? For $1,
The Jerk.
Your weight, your height, or your sex. The most exciting.
For $1, I'll tell you your weight, your height, or your sex. Little did he know that would get exceedingly complicated in 2024.
On the Midway. Imagine the thrill of getting your weight guessed by a professional. You can blow up your cheeks, you can stick out your chest, but you're not going to fool the guesser. How about you, sir?
This is Steve Martin, The Jerk. If you've never seen it, it's a perfect movie.
Yep.
And you want to talk about a movie that promotes racial harmony, and I'm not being sarcastic about it, this is the movie.
Hey, honey, let's see how good this guy is. What do I win?
Anything
in this
general area,
right here,
right in here, anything
to the left
below the stereo, and on this side of the bicentennial glasses, anything between the ashtrays and the thimbles, anything in this 3 inches, right in here in this area, that includes the chiclets but not the erasers.
No, sir. Spoiled, honey. He thought he had himself a room.
It's the best movie ever.
Frosty, still good at this.
Come on, David, you're doing fine.
No, I've already given away 8 pencils, 2 hula dolls, and an ashtray, and I've only taken in $15.
David, you have taken in $15
and
given away
30
50
cents
cents worth of crap, which gives us a net profit of $14.50.
That's something so simple, even Kamala could understand it. It's a profit deal.
It's a profit deal.
Navan's business.
All right, classic. There you go. It's just return on investment. How are you going to do that? Don't ask me that question, dumb bum. Oh. I'm going to bring it up. Il Sarto, I see it. You asked Barnes to steelman Candace's position last night about Mossad and JFK. Now you claim he has explained it in a million times. Gaslighting. Il Sarto, you know what's gaslighting? This is gaslighting. You talked about the position of the general. I will not argue in real time. Barnes has made his position clear on Israel and all of that. In particular, many times. The assassination of RFK, he said he thinks is idiotic, being done by Mossad and not the deep state. I will go read that article in the Israeli Times, but in Tehran Times. Okay, get that out of here. How do I get that? Okay, now what we're going to do, because we've already gone over the time lot for this, we're going to end it on YouTube. Come on over to Rumble, and then after that, we're going to have our vivabarneslaw.locals.com after party. The entire stream will be on Viva Clips after the fact. Afterwards, what else? Hold on. Let me go to vivabarneslaw.locals.com. Make sure we're good over there. View all. All right. And we're going to talk about some Canadian stuff because There is a couple of things. The war on the Amish. I'm going to talk about that. I've got a man up in Nova Scotia who's following what is going on there with FOIA requests, or FOIA. They're basically like a request for documents coming out of Nova Scotia, illustrating that the Canadian government might have known that the jibby jab was a little bit more harmful and dangerous than they publicly disclosed, and people need to go to jail for that. So let me give everybody the link to vivabarneslaw.locals.com. Locals is here. Boom. And I'm going to give it in here. Locals. And if you're not coming, I'll be live tomorrow with Sam Sorbo. So that's going to be an amazing show talking about, among other things, we're going to have a segment on homeschooling. It's going to be fantastic. And what do I want to do? End on YouTube. Come on over, people. YouTube, Viva Fry on Rumble, or vivabarneslaw.locals.com for the Canadian portion of today's show. Done.